Hare Krishna everyone, so we are back with the light of the Bhagavata by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. And this is Shravanam Diaries podcast. I'm your host Sulalita Devidasi at your service, and we are continuing with text 20. Fierce torrents of rain break over the strands and the partition walls of the paddy field. These disturbances resemble those created by the seasonal opponents of the standard principles of the Vedas, who are influenced by the age of Kali. Purport. Originally, the path of self-realization was established by the standard direction of the Vedas. Srila Vyasadeva divided the original Veda into 4 divisions, namely Sama, Atharva, Rig, and Yajur. Then he divided the same Vedas into 18 Puranas, supplements, and the Mahabharata. And then again, the same author summarized them in the Vedanta Sutras. The purpose of all these Vedic literatures is to realize oneself to be a spiritual being, eternally related with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the all-attractive form, Shri Krishna. But all these different Vedic literatures were systematically distorted by the onslaught of the age of Kali, as the walls of the paddy field and the strand of the river are distorted by the onslaught of heavy rains. The attacks of distortion are offered by atheistic philosophers who are concerned only with eating, drinking, being merry, and enjoying. These atheists are all against the revealed scriptures because such persons are intimately attached to sense pleasures and gross materialism. There are also others who do not believe in the eternity of life. Some of them propose that life is ultimately to be annihilated and that only the material energy is conserved. Others are less concerned with physical laws but do not believe anything beyond their experience. And still others equate spirit and matter and declare the distinction between them to be illusory. Yeah, we know all those, right? It's one life, so do whatever the hell, whatever. Anyway, Hare Krishna. There is no doubt that the Vedas stand as the most recognized books of knowledge from every angle of vision. But over the course of time, the Vedic path has been attacked by philosophers like Charvaka, Buddha, Arhat, Kapila, Patanjali, Shankara, Vaikarana, Jaimini, the Nyayakas, the Vaisheshikas, the Sagunists, the Empiricists, the Pashupata Shaivas, the Saguna Shaivas, the Brahmas, the Aryas, and many others. The list of non-Vedic speculators grows daily without restriction. That's scary, wow. The path of the Vedas do not accord with any principle devoid of an eternal relation with God, attainment of His devotional service, and culmination in transcendental love for Him. Haribol. Next is text 21. The wind carries the clouds to different parts of the globe, and the clouds distribute rains to the satisfaction of the people in general, just as kings and merchants distribute their accumulated wealth, inspired by religious priests. Purport. As already explained, the 4 divisions of society, namely the intelligent class of man, the Brahmanas, the ruling class of men, the Kshatriyas, the mercantile class, the Vaishyas, and the laboring class, the Shudras, are meant to achieve one goal in life: self-realization or cultivation of the human spirit. The intelligent class of men, the Brahmanas, are to inspire. The Brahmanas are meant to inspire the Kshatriyas and Vaishyas in performing sacrifices for spiritual cultivation. I like how Srila Prabhupada used the word to inspire. He didn't say to force, he didn't say to even to teach, he didn't say to like slam on the heads or none of these. Inspire, inspire the Kshatriyas and Vaishyas in performing sacrifices for spiritual cultivation, and thus the cooperation of the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, and Vaishyas uplifts the people in general, or the ordinary laboring class of man. As soon as this cooperation between the four classes of men in society stops, and the basic principles of spiritual culture are neglected, the social structure of humanity becomes a second edition of animal life, based on the propensities of eating, sleeping, fearing, and mating. Wow. This is amazing. Cooperation between the four classes of men. Jai. It is the duty of the intelligent man to influence the members of the richer communities. These are the original influencers. Influence the members of the richer communities, the Kshatriyas and Vaishyas, to sacrifice for spiritual culture. Only in this way can the tension between the capitalists and the laborers be well mitigated. In this age of Kali, when a slight difference of opinion leads to quarrel, even to the extent of riots, it is the duty of the intelligent man, the Brahmanas, to selflessly inspire the richer people to sacrifice for this purpose. Selfless inspiration. The Brahmanas, the intelligent man. I like this. It is suggested herewith that the man of the intelligent class should not themselves try to become Kshatriyas or Vaishyas, nor should they engage themselves in the occupations of the various other classes. Rather, the Brahmanas should simply guide them in spiritual cultivation, just as the wind carries the clouds to other places to pour water. The wind itself does not take up the responsibility for pouring water. The most intelligent men in society are the saints and sages who have sacrificed everything for the service of spiritual culture. I don't know what it is, but I'm so touched, deeply moved by this whole purport. Jai. Sacrifice everything for the service of spiritual culture. Their duty is to travel throughout human society and inspire its members to engage themselves in acts of spiritual culture by sacrificing their words, money, intelligence, and life. That should be the theme of human life in order to make it a complete success. A society with no taste for spiritual culture is a blazing fire, and everyone in that fire perpetually suffers the threefold miseries. As clouds pour water on a blazing fire in the forest, and thus extinguish it, the intelligent men who work as the spiritual masters of society pour water on the blazing fire of miseries by disseminating spiritual knowledge and inspiring the richer section of the society to help in the cause. The temples of worship, for example, are constructed by the rich. And these temples are meant to impart spiritual education to people in general. The periodic spiritual ceremonies are held for inspiration and not for exploitation. If there are flaws now because of the age of Kali, they should be rectified. But the institutions must be saved. So rectify the faults and save the institutions. Oh, I really love this purport. Alright, we're going to stop here for today. I would really want to meditate upon this one and inspire all of you. Inspire all of you to do the same. So thank you so much for tuning in today. The link to this book is in the description. And sorry if my excitement ruined the flow of the narration, but I highly recommend you to also read this book on your own and share it with your friends. And therefore we always post the link to where you can find this book in the description, as well as where you can see the illustration that portrays this particular verse. It's also there in the description, or it will appear tomorrow on our Instagram and Facebook. So thank you so much again for tuning in, and I shall see you next time. Hare Krishna.